Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on the Sandra Birchmore case trial, where Matthew Farwell yesterday caught another charge. The feds had gone back to a grand jury and said, hey, you already have him on unaliving Sandra, but we believe that he has to face the charges of unaliving her unborn child as well. If you remember, Sandra was a young girl who sadly joined a young cadet program with the MSP. And through that program, she was groomed by multiple officers, is what we have learned so far. Sadly, only one officer so far has been charged with anything in relation to the unaliving of poor Sandra. She was a young girl when she started in that cadet program, and it seems like she kind of needed somewhere safe, and these beasts used her for their own gratification. At the time she passed away, she was about 8 weeks pregnant, and very quickly, the absolute cesspit that is Norfolk DA's office determined, well, she unalived herself. Trooper Guarino found thousands. There was a rumor that Trooper Guarino didn't find any evidence. He did find them. And he turned them over to Fanning, who then absolutely saw no reason to charge Farwell in any connection with the Sandra Birchmore. There's also two other officers who had to step down because of their inappropriate relationship with Sandra Birchmore. But still, Meatball Morrissey kept claiming this was a self-deletion. The feds, who I am not a big fan of because I don't believe they are going to do much, they stepped in this case and arrested Matthew Farwell. They charged him with the unaliving of Sandra Birchmore, and now a grand jury has also charged him with the unaliving of the unborn child. But to this day, and this is where Sandra has been failed repeatedly by the cesspit that is Massachusetts, no charges have been brought against Matthew Farwell from the state, even though the feds has gone in there and said, we believe this guy did it. They still claim this was a self-deletion. What does it take to finally get someone to do something in this horrible, horrible state? I know a lot of you people who watch my channel is from that state, and I feel sorry for you because it seems like the thin blue line is a big blue wall. We protect our own. We'll let them skate. Well, they'll lose their job, but they can just move on. Sandra Birchmore wasn't only abused by Matthew Farwell. Well, some people just lost their job and, hey, get out of here. That's okay. When will someone look into how the Norfolk DA's office and the related police departments run? Mark Bederow shared this a couple of weeks ago in relation to the Proctor files that they had found. Candidates for Norfolk DA. What do I know? But perhaps today is a good day to make a statement about the rot within the Norfolk DA MSP detective unit, its lack of accountability, and the ridiculous defense and cover the DA has provided for a disgraced trooper for the last 2 years. This is in relation to the hundreds and thousands of files they just found on Michael Proctor's phone in relation to the Karen Reed case, the Miles King case, the Walsh case, and, well, even though they tried to hide it, we now know that he's also tied into the Aiden Carney case. But this sentiment could just be used again instead of putting Michael Proctor into it and say, hey, why are you keeping your hands over these dirty cops? Just ask, why don't you do anything in the Sandra Birchmore trial? Why isn't anyone rocking the boat? Is it because they don't give a F about a victim of their own police? I have screamed and hollered about this before. I'll probably do it again. And you can tell me all you want down in the comments that I don't understand how the election system goes in Massachusetts, that you just have to bite the apple and then do what you're told. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to try and shield dirty cops. I don't give two flying Fs if you are a good candidate. If you don't dare to say enough is enough, I want this to change. You are just like Meatball Morrissey. You are just another empty suit that's going to do exactly the same as everyone else. Cover up for the dirty cops. This young lady was groomed by the police. She was sexually abused by the police. And then, when she was pregnant, finally looking forward to something positive in her life, she had had tremendous loss in her life. These guys, one of these guys, Matthew Farwell, maybe alone, maybe in connection with others, unalived her. They took not only her, but the unborn child. An unborn child where, according to sources, we don't know which sources, Matthew Farwell wasn't even the dad of this kid. But she pressured him to believe that, hey, it's you. And he believed her, which must mean he was knocking boots with this young lady, 22 years old, while the bastard was waiting another child with his own wife. He goes and deletes, allegedly, Sandra Birchmore, and then goes back to the maternity ward and gets a new baby the next day. These are the people your silence protects. Why are you not demanding everywhere that something must be done? You can't keep running your state this way. Where's the governor? Where's the DA? Well, we know Meatball Morrissey is an empty suit, but where's the next DA? If you're too afraid to rock the boat, well, you're just Meatball Morrissey in a new suit. And if you are one of those people who's going to nominate the next DA, because it's not going to be a democratic process, someone gets nominated, they're going to run alone, and everyone's just going to vote like they always do. But I hope you have enough toothpaste so you can get the dirty taste out of your mouth. This is what you help cover up. A murder of a young pregnant woman by dirty cops who groomed her from she was a minor. Started sex with her when she was a very, very young woman. Even having wishes that they had had sex before she was 15. These are the people you don't care does stuff like this. Why is no one yelling from the rooftops? Change has to come. Something has to change. We know you don't give a F if you don't care about what we have seen in the last 2 years from the Massachusetts State Police, from the Norfolk DA's office. I feel sorry that apparently the democratic process in Massachusetts is out the window. It's just about, we're going to point at this candidate. That's the candidate who's going to take over. And that candidate is too weak, apparently, to have its own opinion because they just want the job. I feel ashamed that anyone can just close their eyes and see this happening. The feds didn't do shit other than hiring ARCA guys in the Karen Reed case. At least they are doing something in the Sandra Birchmore case. But why is no one else doing anything.